Welcome to the third episode of Shoe Cabinet TV. We are here with Monel Elias and Nick Latouf. We're going to be talking about the importance of shoes for athletes, and pretty much since it is March, we have our 3-month check-in for our New Year's resolution. So we're kind of trying to see how you can keep up with your New Year's resolution to lose that weight or to get healthier. And I'm going to leave it to the experts. Take it away.
Great. Go ahead, Nick.
So my name is Nick Latouf. I'm a certified personal trainer, corrective exercise specialist, and I specialize in taking care of the body and keeping it healthy. So corrective exercise, we try to prevent injuries before they happen with prehabilitation. But today we're going to get into talking about a little bit about the feet and how important they are to taking care of the entire kinetic chain. If you have problems in the feet, it's going to cause problems all up and down the body, the human body, especially in the lower back. So I'm combining with Elias shoes today. We're going to talk about how to get you properly fitted and take care of your body for the long haul. It's a long run, and maybe talk about some Disneyland shoes too. I alluded to that in my post earlier this week. So what are those Disneyland shoes all about?
So we have a term that we've kind of coined here. They're called all-dayers, and they're actually called Disneyland shoes because people will come in and they'll say, we're going to Disneyland tomorrow. I need a shoe. Hook me up. And so we have a few products here in the store that we consider all-dayers.
Nice.
So an all-dayer is a Disneyland shoe.
Disneyland shoe, because you're going to be at Disneyland all day, walking around, putting miles on.
Putting lots of miles, and you don't want your feet to be aching at the end or to stop doing your activity because your feet are hurting so bad.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. So those all-dayers can be, directly applied to people who do a lot of cardio too, right?
Yes,
Cool.
We do have all-dayers for cardio too. Well, it would be a 30-minute, not an all-dayer.
Not an all-dayer. And well, unless you got your marathoners out there that do
you
extended runs throughout the week and things like that. So let's get into this part talking about the foot. There's our.
So this is Infamous Skinny. Those have been
Skinny.
a part of, have been guests in our store. They're very familiar with how Skinny works, and it's an anatomically correct left foot. So that way, here, go ahead, Nick, and show
Awesome,
some.
Cool. So what we want to talk about, and the reason it's important to get in the right type of shoe and to be healthy is because the bottom of the feet, there's tissues on the bottom of the feet, and if you don't take care of those tissues, you don't give the proper support to those tissues, what you will have is a collapse of the arch. Now, when the arch collapses, that is one of the most indicative signs of an ACL injury. I see this a lot in athletes. If you can tell from their gait. Once their arch collapses, if the bone was to continue forward here, you would see the knee cave in, and also the hips would be at a disadvantage, at a contraindicated position there as well. So we want to make sure we take care of these arches of the feet because that is where our foundation is. We're on our feet every single day. So if we have problems at the foundation, just like a house or a building, if there's foundational problems, there will be problems all throughout the building, all throughout the body. So how can shoes help us support that? We'll get into a little bit of the corrective exercise, actually the musculature here in a second, but let's talk about the shoes first.
So depending on what's going on with the arch, with their foot, will depend on what product is the best product for their foot. And again, coming to a shoe store where it's called a sit and fit, such as Elias shoes, we are trained so that way we can look at what's going on with your foot and then figure out the proper product to put on it. So for some people, their arch maybe a little bit like this. So depending on that would depend on whether it's a shoe and an insert, but especially for those that are wanting to start to exercise, the type of product, and we carry the full line of New Balance here at Elias Shoes. So depending on what your purpose is, whether you're running on a treadmill, or you're running on gravel, you're running on dirt, or you're running on asphalt and concrete, would depend on what kind of a product would best suit, or if you're deadlifting, which is what you train individuals with.
Squat, yeah.
Deadlift squat. So if you're doing a deadlift squat, you're not going to want something that has an angle. Why wouldn't you want an angle?
You don't want an angle because that angle is going to push the weight towards your toes. When you deadlift and squat, you want to keep the weight back on your heels, and you want to be able to drive those heels into the ground, and that's going to give you the most strength. That's also going to incorporate the proper musculature in the quads, the hamstrings, and the glutes. It's going to allow you to properly engage and be at your strongest and safest position. So this New Balance one, this one's the flat sole. This would be perfect for.
And it still has some arch, so that way you're not completely flat.
Yeah. Not completely flat. A lot of people you'll see deadlift and squat in barefoot. This shoe's going to do some similar things to being barefoot, but also giving you the arch support that you may need if your foot's not necessarily. Because I believe, as humans, we were designed to walk barefooted, but that's just not the case anymore. And we have concrete, and we walked barefoot on grass. So it's walking barefoot on concrete. That's why we have shoes, and that's going to protect our feet for the long term. So I believe that as close to barefoot as we can get, whether that be a shoe, an insert, or actually walking barefooted from time to time in our grass or yards, I think that's a great way to take care of the feet and keep them healthy.
Right, but most people have concrete or some type of hard floor in their house, their work. We walk on hard concrete all day.
Definitely.
And having that hard surface constantly pounding is why so many individuals have foot and heel pain. So having a softer product, like this is a great running, and this is great running for whether you're on concrete or asphalt or the treadmill, because it has a nice cushion, because when you run, you don't go all the way down, you kind of stop at about here. So having that extra cush will help absorb all that energy on your heel. So this is a great product for, again, New Balance. And New Balance also carries a nice selection of widths, because a lot of people are in too tight of a shoe.
Okay.
And sometimes what will happen is because the shoe is too tight, it will cause black toe,
Okay.
which a lot of runners experience is because their toe is too close and their toe constantly hits the top and they actually cause a bruise, which in the runner's world is called black toe. Also, some people will experience, because the shoe is too tight, tingling pain, and sometimes going into a wider shoe where they're not so tight in is also beneficial.
Okay.
Because your toes need to be able to move a little bit around. They can't be all stuck inside there.
For sure. Yeah, so like on this shoe, we wanted the heel flat for deadlifts and squats. That one, you want the weight more towards your toes, because when you run, you do want to be on your toes, and you want to get that spring effect from the Achilles tendon and all the good stuff and the musculature of the ankle to spring you forward. So.
See, and this is another quality running shoe. It also has a little bit of a flare, so when you're running, if you do have a weaker ankle, it actually helps you so that you are more stable laterally. So this is another good product for running.
It's definitely got a flare. Look at those colors. It's just that's a pretty looking shoe.
It's a beautiful shoe.
Yeah, heck yeah. I like that.
We got a question on the live stream. What about people who are casual hikers, not necessarily going on strong, deep mountain hikes, but just something casual? They want to go up to Fallbrook or they want to go up to Duluth and not do anything too intensive, but still have something to support their feet.
Great question.
Great question, which is this shoe right here. So it has a nice counter heel, so it'll keep your heel nice and controlled when you're moving sideways up the hill. It also has a little bit of a flare, again, when you're going on the rocks. This one also has on the bottom of the shoe grippers. I don't know if you can see this up close, but if you come into the store, we're more than happy to show you. But it actually has grippers so that when you're climbing up on the dirt, this will actually grip and help you so that you don't slide down, and help you grip onto the ground as and you can still run in this, say, for example, in Duluth or on a softer surface. And then we also have those that aren't doing the intense and they just want to walk.
Yeah, just casual walking.
Casual walker. So that's a classic 990 by New Balance. Really great product. It has a steel shank, so it'll keep you in a proper heel, midfoot, toe off position. It has a large, nice stability back here, nice and padded, so that your ankle doesn't, you don't get any blisters around the ankle. And this also comes in widths. And it's a great casual walking, but if you were to go on a harder surface or on soft gravel or anything like that, it'll keep you in place. It's just a really good fitting shoe. And then you have another question?
Yeah, Lisa Towery just on the live stream. I have my New Balance shoes. They feel like pillows.
Yep.
Nice.
Lots of comfort, because it's a little higher in the back, so it's nice and cushy. Okay, and then you had some questions or some suggestions on...
Oh, yes, for self-myofascial release, it's important to get in the right shoes. It's important to get in the right what's it called, insert
Insert.
in the shoe as well. But it's a good idea to take care of the musculature in your feet as well, and you can do that with a tennis ball. And basically, what this serves as, it's called self-myofascial release. In layman terms, it's basically just a massage for the bottom of the foot or anywhere in the body actually. So basically, what you do, you would just roll. If you sit down, put the tennis ball underneath the foot, roll it from just right in front of the bone here into the metatarsals here, right? Don't want to roll it on the bone. We want to keep it on the musculature and in the tissues, and we just roll it back and forth right there. Basically, what that's doing, that's just going to help release some tension that you might have. If you're not in the proper shoe right now, or if you struggle, you have feet problems, you probably have some tightness and stiffness, and maybe even some knots in the bottom of your feet in that musculature. So all this is going to do is going to relieve that pressure, and hopefully it'll reform that arch. The arch is one of the most resilient structures there is. So, and that's why I think our Creator put that in the bottom of our feet, is because we are going to have so many duty cycles throughout our life. We're walking miles and miles and miles, and it needs to be something that's going to sustain us for years. So it's important, very, very important, to take care of the bottom of our feet, because like we said earlier, the bottom of the feet are the foundation of everything else. If we want to live a long, healthy life, we want to be strong, we want to run far, and jump higher and be an athlete, or just generally having fun on the beach with our kids or grandkids and things like that, it's imperative that we take care of the bottom of our feet. And as simple as something like this, just rolling it with this tennis ball, I think we stole this from Rufus, but we'll get it back to him, no worries. But just something simple like that, 10 minutes a day. You can do it at the beginning of your day, right when you wake up, or you can do it right before you go to bed. That massage, it actually help you calm down, reduce cortisol levels, and help you get to sleep. So I think it'd be a good time to do it right before bed, 5-10 minutes. That's all it would take, really. So that, combined with a shoe fit exactly for you and your foot, I think would be imperative to overall health.
I agree. And that's not just, working out, but just in daily living. Having the proper product on your foot throughout the day will make you want to get up and want to work out, because you don't have as much pain throughout your body, whether it's through your knees, your hips, or your lower back, because it's all connected from the foundation. So having a good proper foundation, and again, coming to a place where they have an understanding of how to measure your feet, what's the appropriate product, is it's a great foundation and a great start.
For sure. And I want to take a little talk on the lower back thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people have lower back problems. That a lot of that time it starts in the feet,
Yes.
like that arch collapsing, that knee caves in, and that puts a lot of extra pressure on our lower backs and our hips. So start at the feet, and if that doesn't take care of your issue, then look somewhere else. But 9 times out of 10, what I found in my experience is that when people take care of their feet, they get put in the proper shoe, and they take care of the musculature in the feet. Then they can start relieving some of that back pain. A lot of people try to relieve back pain at the site of the pain, and 9 times out of 10, it's just not there. That's just the site of where it's showing up, but it's not the root of the problem. So if you ice your back for back pain, a lot of times just putting a Band-Aid on it, you're not actually taking care of the root problem. So do a little homework, do a little digging, and find that root problem. Everybody can benefit from what we talked about here today about the self-myofascial release in the bottom of the feet, getting properly fitted. And, we've all gotten fitted for shoes throughout our lives. We don't, you don't know what you don't know. So how do you know if you've been properly fitted or not? Come in. She's been doing it. How long have you been doing this?
We've been open now for 2.5 years.
For 2.5 years.
Yes.
They know what they're talking about. I was in here earlier last week trying to scope it out, and I saw an interaction with customers walking by. Very satisfied with the products they had. They have, sports specific today, but they have, weddings, wedding shoes, dress shoes, boots. I'm from Texas, so the boots really caught on to me. So that's a good thing too. So it's not just about the running shoes, not just about the athletes. It's the full spectrum. So everybody can benefit from a healthier foot, ultimately a healthier body.
Oh, yep. Here's
here we got some boots right here.
Yep, we got some boots right there.
Feel right at home. You too. You're from Tucson.
Yeah, I'm from Tucson, so I feel right at home with the boots, hence why we have the decor in the store.
Nice.
And I'd like to invite everyone out there that's viewing this. This Thursday, we are having an open house. We will have an actual ribbon cutting because we have the Valley's first dynamic foot scanning device, and I know I alluded to this in one of the previous episodes. So this Thursday, March 23rd, from 12 o'clock to 7 o'clock, we will have an open house. Everybody's invited to come. You can walk across the machine. We will send you the scan for free to your email. And we'll just have a fun afternoon enjoying, kind of putting everybody in and doing gait assessments and looking what our feet are and are not doing. So that's an open invitation to everybody out there.
Sounds like a fun event for sure.
It's going to be a fun event. We're going to have a lot of activity going on here in the store.
Yeah, I checked out that machine earlier when I was here. It looks pretty high tech, so I'm interested in seeing what kind of info that gives you.
Yeah, it's a really, really fun event. It's going to be a fun day.
Nice.
So, any other questions?
No one has jumped on the live stream, and this is currently being broadcast to 5 people. So thank you so much for tuning into episode 3 of the Shoe Cabinet TV. We will be live streaming on the event. So on Thursday, March 23rd, we will be live streaming some people getting their feet scanned. We'll be live streaming some of the event footage, and we will be getting that to you promptly. All right, that concludes episode 3 of the Shoe Cabinet TV. Have a fantastic Sunday.
See you on Thursday.
Bye, guys.
Bye.